Hey there, I'm Zoe Everest. Thank you so much for joining me to shake today. I just wanted to do a little warning for a couple of people that this might not be good for. So if you've had a high level of, say, complex PTSD, or you have a major trauma in the body, then I suggest that you instead book in a one-on-one class so that you have a teacher to be able to assist you and go at the right pace and the right shapes for your body. If you're in doubt, then feel free to reach out personally to me and we can work out what will be the best path for you. All right, let's get started. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. I am Zoe Everest and you're here because you're interested in learning about shaking medicine. What I want to first say is that this isn't some kind of like woo-woo, new age, new fad. This is actually an ancient wisdom that is already inside of your body and always has been. And the reason is because you're a mammal. So mammals in the wild, they start to tremor involuntarily when they are under stress or trauma. And that actually relieves the body of the stress and trauma and moves it out and lets them turn back into that presence, that homeostasis, that calm that we're designed to live in. So as humans, we're so used to controlling everything that most of us aren't aware that we had this mechanism inside of us. I certainly wasn't until somebody showed me this 5 years ago and it blew my mind. So because we've been born into this human existence, which is all about controlling and suppressing emotions and holding, most of us haven't had the opportunity to surrender into this mechanism that is inside. And that is the main thing I want you to take away today, that you are actually remembering something that is already there and surrendering to it. So, why would we want to do this? Well, it gets us into our parasympathetic nervous system. So this is the one for resting and digesting. Most of us exist in a constant or at least partial state of fight or flight or freeze. And again, not your fault, it's the world that we've been born into. But our bodies need time to let go and move into that slow breathing, that place where the organs can start to do their work, start to heal the body. And to do this, we need to get into that parasympathetic nervous system. This is also the one that allows us to have that nice deep sleep. It also allows us to then receive more pleasure, clarity, really feeling present and like my feet are on the ground is how I feel after I have been doing this practice. Another thing that I really love about shaking medicine is its ability to move stuck emotions and traumas out of the body without having to go into the story of those traumas and re-traumatize and relive the whole thing. It's very cathartic. But it's not all about crying and screaming and letting go of trauma. It can be all about bringing in that joy, that fresh energy, and also relieving muscle tension. As your muscles start to twitch and tremor, they can start to release. And sometimes it feels like you've had a shiatsu massage. It's really very nourishing. Now, you might have seen the words shaking medicine and you might think, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to be standing here shaking the whole time. And I just want you to know that that is not the kind of shaking I'm talking about. I'm talking about your body moving you involuntarily while you get to be a passenger and enjoy the ride. So, you might also know that I am a vocal coach. I've been a musician for years. I've been teaching singing for over a decade. And I've always known that singing made me feel good, and all of my students that have come in have gone, I just love to sing. I don't really mind how my voice is. I just love to sing. So it's innate in us all to want to use our voice. But what I realized when I moved into the shaking medicine was that using our voice in a different way, not trying to sing that song perfectly or trying to nail that note, but actually just using our voice in more of a cathartic, primal kind of way, really enhanced the tremors, helped to bring them on, and also was really soothing for the nervous system. And that is because when we make sounds like a sigh, like or a lot of the vocal warm-ups I was already using with my students are very activating for the vagus nerve, which also gets us into that rest and digest. So things like humming And so in my classes, the voice weaves in and out throughout. So how do we actually shake? I'm sure you're just like, come on, how do I do it? So my classes always have a bit of a structure. So the first stage is just soothing that logical mind, because our mind is going to want to try and understand this and try and get in the way. And this practice is not really a place for the mind. And now it's about tuning into the body. So if you'd like to join me now, we're going to just do some nice practices to just tune into the body. So let's just start by taking a nice stretch. So let's just raise up the right arm, bring it over, and start to breathe in and out through the nose, closing down the eyes. And then coming up to center and over to the other side. We're coming into that nostril breathing. This is going to help to slow down the breath, slow down the mind, and also help to bring us into that parasympathetic nervous system. On the next breath out, I want you to let out a hum. So you're going to breathe in. So here we're waking up the body, we're adding some spaciousness into the muscles. And we're slowing down the mind. So if you'd like to join me now, we're going to take some hip circles. So let's just bring some more heat into the body here. And as we do this, we're going to let out a sound. So again, this is really soothing for the voice, really rehabilitating for the voice, and also really great for that vagus nerve. So let's just warm up the voice as we warm up the body. And the other way. Good. Let's bring our arms into a cactus, creating some space through the heart. And then closing down, bringing the elbows together, stretching out the spine. And as we breathe in, we open. As we breathe out, let's go an NG. Now I'm just giving you a little mini dose of everything today. So each of these sections usually goes for a lot longer, so we can drop in a lot deeper. But today I'm giving you a bit of an overview. So now comes the voluntary shaking. Probably what you would have imagined was shaking medicine. That's what I thought it was anyway. So here we do want to voluntarily shake the bit. So here, we do want to voluntarily shake the body. So you can even isolate each of your body parts and really wake them up here. So we're giving permission for fresh energy to move, because when we get into that tremor, the way we've warmed up almost has set the pathway and permission for that energy to start to move through those parts of the body. So the more spaciousness we can bring into this warm-up, the more freely that energy can move when we start to access that neurogenic tremoring, that therapeutic tremoring. So, you might also like to know that this voluntary shaking is also very good for getting into the, yes, parasympathetic nervous system. So a lot of people do this in their morning routines, and it's really good for cathartically letting go of stress. So let's all together just go, ha, 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 ha. Good. And if you want to get really cathartic in your voluntary shaking, I don't always do this, it depends on what time of day it is. Not so great for your nighttime shake, but if it's a morning shake, you might like to let out some powerful primal sounds like hey, 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 ho, 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 ma, 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 ma. And this can feel very liberating for people. A lot of people are very blocked in the throat, so allow yourself, give permission to yourself to really let go of that energy around the throat and just be playful for a moment. Hey, 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 yeah, 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 yo, 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 yo. Good work. All right, join me now in a self-regulation. We're going to take all that energy that we've been cultivating. We're going to slowly scan down the body, grounding that energy down. Checking in with yourself at this point. How does that feel after just waking up the body in this way? Let's ground that energy down. And now I'd like to demonstrate to you, and please feel free to join along, how to tremor. So, we want to have a nice healthy bend in the knees here. We want to plant our feet into the floor, and we're going to start to move through a range of motion. So for example, from this mountain stance to a chair pose, but we're going to move really slowly. So as I'm coming back up from this chair pose, I'm moving really, really slowly until I start to feel a little quake or a tremor. Now you might be familiar with this from doing a workout or yoga. Instead of tensing out of this, I want you to see if you can relax into it. And because I'm very embodied, because I've practiced so much, you'll notice that I can tremor quite intensely because my body really remembers now. So if you're trying this, you're scanning from this standing into this seated position. And again, I want you to move way slower than what I just demonstrated. Just we don't have much time today, so I just wanted to show you the range of motion, but you want to move like as slowly as possible and as relaxed as possible until you start to feel a little tiny quake or tremor, and then you want to relax and surrender into that. Now this is the most important thing I want you to take away from today, is the surrender. So important. We're surrendering to our own body's primal wisdom and allowing that to move us the way that our body needs to move. Everybody's body is going to be different. So for you, you might just start off with a tiny little quake. And if you're in that quake, you might like to start to play with some little micro movements, like bringing the pelvis to the front of the room or bringing it to the back of the room. So these little micro movements. You might like to play with the weight distribution of your feet, slightly bringing them onto the balls of the feet or perhaps onto the heels. And allow yourself to exhale into sound. Just let the sound that comes out be really authentic. Don't think, what sound should I make? Just let yourself exhale in sound. You might find that your body wants you to make a certain sound that you may not have even made before. And then it's very important that we self-regulate, open the eyes, cultivate that energy and ground it down. Now, standing isn't the only shape we make. We sometimes end up on all fours, moving through a range of motion of a cat-cow, which can get tremors going. We might end up on our back, moving through a bridge. There's lots of different shapes we can use to access these tremors. But today I just showed you just one range of motion that we explore. And then I'd love for you to just end with me grounding all that energy down with some toning. So if you just want to take a seat, maybe bringing the hands into prayer position, and we'll just breathe in together, and we're just going to let out some nice long tones to ground this practice. Whatever note comes out is completely perfect in your own breath cycle. Just continue. So that's a bit of a taste test of what to expect in one of my tremoring classes. And if that felt nourishing to you, if that felt like something that wants to be explored on a deeper level, know that it can go much, much, much deeper than it went today. It's really like planting a seed that if you continue to water it, it will no doubt continue to surprise you in the most wonderful ways. So if you feel to go deeper with me, then I do have an opportunity for you. It's a full 60-minute class where you can really get into each pose. You can really go deeply into the embodiment practices and more deeply into the voice. And I've also thrown in some really great bonuses. So one is accent method breathing. So this is amazing for vocal health. Speech pathologists actually use it to heal the voice, but it's really great for building up strength to support the voice, but also really great for stimulating the vagus nerve. And I've also thrown in my full vocal warm-ups module, which is going to be a playful and fun way for you to explore your voice. And again, you will notice the benefits of opening up your voice and how that feels in your body. So you can get all three of these things for just $22. And this is really high value because each of these products are actually quite life-changing for your voice and for your nervous system. If you choose to dive into all three of these, I'm telling you, they will change your body and your voice for the better. So head to the link to get started. It's in the description under this video, and I'd love to hear how you go. So please get in touch and enjoy your journey back to yourself.